You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 6th meeting of the Michigan City Board of Aviation Commissioners. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Call to order. The Board of Aviation Commissioners monthly meeting, September 6, 2023. Time now is 12 p.m. Members present, we have Kurt Hunter, T.Y. Okeson, Greg Poole, myself, Jeff Bartlett. Others present, Airport Manager Jessica Ward, and from BF&S, Paul Schaefer. We also have Mr. Gene Simmons, Airport Liaison from Michigan City. We do have a quorum. Reading of the minutes for July 13th, 2023, regular meeting. Everybody get a chance to take a look at those.
And I haven't seen any changes that needed to be made. I move that we accept them as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reports, financials, September 2023. Balances. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. So, everybody should have, first and foremost, their account balances. I gave two sheets. So you have a September 6th at the top and an August 10th. For August, since we didn't have a meeting last month, I gave you the reports for both. So account balances are looking good. No major changes from an operational budget standpoint from last month. I will need to request an additional appropriation for our fuel fund though. If you look kind of towards the bottom of the page, it's aviation fuel. We've used 79.19%, which only leaves us with $33,000. And as you look on the claims docket, you can see our fuel costs are about that for one load. So we're gonna need to get more than just one load of fuel before the end of the year. So I'm gonna put a request in for an additional appropriation to the council for $150,000. That's pending approval from the controller's office for the amount. Last year, if you remember, we went to the controller and we asked for like $260,000 because we weren't sure what fuel prices we're gonna do. And we got that, but the city gets that money back when we don't use it. We only used like $115,000 of that. So the city got that back and went back in the riverboat or wherever it goes. So I'm gonna need to do a request again for $150. Next year, we just did our budget meetings for next year's budget and it's back up to $276,000. So next year I shouldn't need to request any money because for the last year and this year it was like a lot lower and then next year it went back up to where it should be. So we should be good there again. Unless we see like a big increase in fuel costs. So then we also have the fourth pay request for New Tech for the SRE building to be approved at this meeting for $42,994.15. That is something that Paul's going to bring up during his, but this payment is going to be coming out of our new bill grant. We did just receive it from the FAA. And that's going to leave us with $103,824.35 left in the bill grant. To pay for the rest of the building. The balance to finish, including the retainage, is $96,745.40. So that's going to leave us $7,078.95 for additional change orders. The only change order right now that I see is just having to put the light back up, on top of the building. And I think that came in at like, wasn't it 14,000 or something like that? Somewhere in there is kind of what their estimate was. Or maybe it was 12 if they did it on top of the building, but 14 if they did another pole. So maybe we can figure out a way to make sure that light goes back up by the end of the project would be awesome for ramp lighting. So if there's any questions on
Finances, no?
finances, all right. Fuel sales.
Yes, 2023.
Yep. So fuel sales are the same. You have two reports. I gave you the report for this meeting for September and then also August report as well. So you guys can see the differences there. Overall, we sold 1,932.6 gallons of 100 low lead, 4,689.1 gallons of Jet A, and 549.1 gallons of Swift fuel in August. Our current fuel prices are $5.36 for self-service avgas, $5.56 for full service, $4.24 for self and full service Jet A, and $6.70 for self-service UL 94. Which, our price went up on UL 94. It was, I think, 25, and it just went up to 670. And as you can see, we still have a 19% increase in the Swift fuel that we're selling, even with the price as high as it is. But there's nothing I can do about the price. So.
Still very competitive compared to everybody else's. So.
Yeah, that's why I put Griffith at the bottom, so you can see they're at 709 is what their price is for Swift over there.
Excellent.
So there's fuel cells.
Awesome, thanks. Moving on to airport manager report.
All right. So Mayor Harry's Red, White, and Blue Charity Ball. Here's a little thing if anybody wants to look at it, but I also give everybody one in their packets. The mayor's having a charity ball on Friday, October 20th at the Blue Chip Casino Stardust Ballroom, starting at 6:15. He would like support for this year's Mayor's Ball. The event is a fundraiser for local charities, which include the Social and Learning Institute, the Service League of Michigan City, and Meals on Wheels, LaPorte County. And it's vital for their existence in our community. There are individual ticket prices at $50, or there's table sponsor pricing starting at $500, and that's for 10, I believe, at a table. 10 admission tickets, acknowledgement in the event program, and it's also included in the PowerPoint presentation. So it was just requested that we have this on the agenda so everybody knows about it and can get the tickets to support the charities of the mayor's choice.
I think it's a great idea. I highly encourage if anybody can go to it. It helps the older citizens of Michigan City. And I also know it provides, besides food, it also provides like some socialization for those older people that can't get out. If we haven't already, can you send out like an email blast to all of our airport residents to maybe encourage them also?
Yes.
Thanks.
What percentage of the proceeds get to the charities?
I don't know that information. You could probably call the mayor's office and ask.
That's an excellent question.
Has he brought that up? Like, has it been at a council meeting or anything? Do you know the answer? No.
We don't sell.
Okay.
Is this process going to also help the homeless individuals on the streets of Michigan City that have become so prevalent and
I
due
don't
to
think so.
hunger and all of that stuff?
I think right here it's just the Meals on Wheels, the Service League, and then the Social Learning Institute.
I'm just surprised that
Yeah.
they wouldn't include that because that's a major social issue.
I would think you would divide it up accordingly.
Yeah.
That has been practiced in past mayoral balls.
I know there's a lot of great organizations, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you just can't
You can't get
do
them-
everybody at the
can't
same
get them
time.
all.
If it rotates, I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's good that they're helping out, so no matter what. How about this?
Upcoming
Okay, go ahead.
drone camp. We have a second drone camp scheduled at the airport September 20th to 22nd from 4 to 6 p.m. We aim to offer students an introductory course in a field to spark interest. Students will be introduced to the industry through personalized coaching, computer flight simulation, and practical flight experience with a certified FAA drone pilot. Students can sign up for a one-day, 2-hour course on computer flight simulators with an instructor. Upon completion of their 2-hour course, they may sign up for real-world drone flight on the DJI Maverick drone, which we also used in the previous drone camp, taking place on September 23rd at a local park. This program is limited to the first 18 students, and it is free for ages 10 through 17.
Local park, do we know what park?
I don't know what park yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a local park so far.
When's the official sign up start?
It's now. Sign up is now, yeah. I haven't reached out to him to find out how many kids. Usually he had 30 last drone camp, and that was a lot to handle. So that's why this time he's doing 18.
And when's the date? When does he expect to, does it say?
The actual camp is September 20th through the 22nd, from 4 to 6. And that's here at the terminal building on all of our flight simulators on the computers. And then on the 23rd, which is Saturday, that's when they're gonna take the actual drone up at a local park. usually is what they do.
Do we send anything out to the Michigan City schools as reminders and things like that?
Yes, he has it out on Facebook. We actually, if you remember the last camp, they like came from a Southland station and did like a whole news
Oh,
broadcast
that's
on it and stuff.
fantastic.
So that was really cool.
Hopefully they do something like that here.
But yeah, so, he blasts it out to all, it's by St. Michael's, that's who actually does the camp.
Okay.
So Johnny Stimley is who handles.
I know they had good feedback about that last
Oh
year,
yeah,
so
it
that's
was
fantastic.
great. So yeah, it goes out to Michigan City area schools, and we actually helped with Barker. They have a program that they wanted to start there too. And then I blast out to Renaissance, of course, my girls go there, so.
I was wondering, I don't know, I mean, it's been several years, I don't know what the age requirement is, but now you can get your drone FAA license just by doing an online thing and having an instructor sign you off on there. So maybe that's something that they can promote too, that the kids,
Yeah, and
aviation
that's-
car, which would be cool to
Because
have
man,
too.
there are a lot of,
Do you have to be a certain age?
That's why I can't remember.
I think it's 15. I'm pretty sure it's the same as a pilot's license. Like you
Okay.
can be 15 to start training and like maybe 16 is when they can sign you off. But
It's a
that's like
quick
for
slide.
commercial, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
quick
Like
slide
commercial
on.
use.
Online, just click, watch these videos, take the little written test, but then you have any certified instructor just sign you off saying like, you're good and you get it, so it's kind of a neat little thing.
We also have the police short course. They're doing it the 27th and 28th, I believe, out here. So maybe a Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
It's just gonna be set up for the day on half the ramp like it's done in the past. And that's-
September.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Anything else?
Troy's here, yes. No, I'm good.
Okay. Airport development. Paul, Mr. Schaefer.
Well, as Jessica said, we've got a couple things here for action items. In the first one you already covered, which is that payment to New Tech, number 4. And she gave you a nice synopsis of where we're at financially and how much we have left to go. So if there's any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer them.
What percentage completion are they? I mean, not financially, but
Yeah, so basically they have the driveway and the parking lot to do. They'll have to tweak the fence a little bit once they get the asphalt in there to try to reduce the gap as much as possible based on the fence alignment, going across the drive.
so they'll be substantially complete by 30 September still, is that?
Yes, the pavement, we just spoke with him. He's gonna get some cones and barricades around the hole there. He expected it to be done by now, but it keeps getting pushed back. So right now, the current date is September 18th for pavement across.
Everybody else is always on schedule. They haven't had any hiccups in supplies or materials or anything like that.
I mean, otherwise the building's ready.
Yeah,
Excellent drive.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, so it's done.
And we'll have a final walkthrough.
Yeah, we can go out and walk through after. Was it unlocked?
I don't know if it's unlocked yet.
Probably,
Yeah, we might have blocked it. We may not be able to walk through, but we can schedule a walkthrough.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. This-
So we need to make a motion, I guess.
I get that from the, it looks like.
Does anybody else has any questions for the pay application for New Tech? Is there a motion to approve the pay application for New Tech in the amount of $42,994.15?
I'll make said motion.
Is there a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank
Who
you.
did a second? Kirk?
Yes.
And to answer your question, Kurt, it's 76% financially complete. So physically, completion is much more than 76%, but financially it's 76%. The second item is on this new AIP grant. I apologize, I messed up the AIP number. They skipped a number on me. So the FAA skipped over AIP 27 and went AIP 28. So this is your bipartisan infrastructure grant that is reimbursing you for the SRE. So the way for Jessica's books, the way she has slated it to show that the local share ran out and then the bill's gonna pay basically the balance of the building. We're gonna go ahead and submit for the full bill amount now and get that in your coffer so you won't have to wait on it.
Okay.
Then we're gonna do one draw up to 90%. which is the 143,000 federal share. So that 90% of the total amount is 159,000. And then that's 143,100 federal, 795 state, and 7,950 on the local share. But we don't have a purchase order for the state yet, so you'll be carrying the local share and the state share for a time. But
I did
then-
just sign that though.
What's that?
I did just sign that.
You did, okay.
The application.
So it shouldn't be that long. So then next month, we can do pay request number 2 and close it out and max it out. So that's just to get that portion of the SRE building reimbursed back to you. So that's what that motion is. Motion to approve AIP 28 partial pay request 1 for the
That's yours,
SRE
Troy.
building.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the AIP 28 partial pay request 1 for SRE building in the amount of $159,000?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries for the AIP 28 partial pay. Thanks.
Yeah, the rest, I mean, no other action items, it's just the runway extension project continues to be on hold because of funding. And unfortunately, you're not the only general aviation airport in Indiana that's facing this kind of same deal. There were, this year, there were a few more GA airports funded than last year, but it's still pretty slim pickings right now. As far as runway extensions ordered, to my knowledge, they're still honoring the order. They just haven't gotten there yet. So we are completing DeKalb County and Greensburg, which we're 2 ahead of you. I understand Indianapolis Executive is still on there, Portland's done, and then we have Huntingburg, and then I think you're up. So hopefully we should start seeing some money here, I don't know, 2026.
Where's your crystal ball?
It's a good number.
Yeah.
2026 is where they have you on the program right now.
What year is it now?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's a ways out there. We will have to take a look at the CIP. The CIP letters just came out from NDOT. It's due December 1st rather than February 1st. It was due December 1st last year too, but they moved that up to help on the financial programming. We probably won't know if FAA reauthorization is done by then. I don't foresee a bill passed by then. My guess is they'll have one continuing resolution at the end of September to keep them moving into the first quarter of the next year. And then hopefully we have a bill by the end of the calendar year, which if we do, that has an extra $1 billion in it compared to what we have historically seen. So that might help out a little bit as well. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. We'll keep plugging along, and in the meantime, if I win Powerball, I will self-fund the project.
We're counting on it, actually.
Problem is, yeah, my ticket. My ticket.
2020 to win.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's all I have, unless you wanted to talk about the fuel fund at all.
No, we're still in the same situation though with that having to prime it or every so often, right? They're still trying to
Oh,
figure out
that's a good question. No. It's been working really well until, like, literally, and then all of a sudden, just recently, we have the same issue where you just have to like squeeze it, let go for like 5 seconds, then try again and it'll come out. So, but
What
it
was
was
the
doing,
cost?
I mean,
We had to replace that
it was like $6,000 or something
whole unit.
for the new pump, so they weren't even considering that. Cause the thing is if that's not what's wrong with it, you know what I mean?
You're on $6,000.
Yeah, you can't send it back.
So it works, but
It
there's
works.
something.
And so it's funny because I talked to like all kinds of transit pilots and tenants and stuff. And one of our tenants was telling me that every airport he flies into kind of has a different weird thing. You know what I mean? Like all of them have something weird about them. Yeah, that you have to like. So he said it's not unusual to just like have like something that's like let go for 10 seconds, try again. If ever you don't succeed, And so it's like he said it's totally fine, and lots of people have been using it, and nobody's been super angry about it. But I mean, before we'd have to go out and actually physically do it every morning in order to use it, and then overnight it wouldn't work, and so it was way more difficult. But it's workable now to where
We're getting by stuff.
we can definitely, it's usable easily and quickly. So.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Brian, please ahead. Any old business? No. New business? Nothing that good. Okay. Claims docket? Amount for $115,000.
Yeah, that might actually change now. I didn't change the top part.
Okay.
Where is the blue stuff?
For
Oh,
what?
I have it. Because I need to add this.
220.
Yeah, from the controller, it came out wrong. It came out their, what they have here for our EFTs was different than what they wrote on this front page. So let me just add that real quick. Unless, did you say you did that already?
115, 8, 70, 12.
Oh, 8. 115, 8.
8, 70, 12.
7012. So 115,870.12.
Did everybody get a chance to take a look at the claims docket?
I move we accept the claims docket as written.
Is there a motion or second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried for claims docket, a total amount of $115,870.12. Are there any correspondence, anything else? All right, public comment?
Troy's up.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me here. I had a few issues, and I think you guys have already addressed one of them. We did have an injury. There've been a few injuries because of that aggressive officer. When people end up a little short of their landing area, there's only one that's required medical attention that we know.
Is that person okay, or?
Yeah, but they shattered their L2, and L1 is fine, L3's fine, so I think they must have hit a stone or something like right as they landed, They didn't land hard, they didn't land abnormal, just the position was a little short of the top of the plateau.
Was that a single jump or tandem?
No, it was a tandem student that got hurt.
Okay.
So our first one of the year, I don't know who I was in here talking to, I think it was Kurt and Jessica, and I was saying, oh, you haven't had any injuries. I can't believe you said that. Or someplace, it might have been this too, but I remember doing it. But yeah, so, yeah, she's doing okay, but they sent her to South Bend, pretty much right away. So I haven't, I know that the instructor as well just talked to her the other day, so I haven't asked him how the conversation went, but.
And I assume our Michigan State first responders right here were able to treat her right away?
Yeah,
That's nice.
the fire department was right here instantly.
That's what makes it great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we stopped operations, because when there's vehicles out on taxiways, it just doesn't make sense to be trying to taxi around
Right.
and operate. Normally, we don't stop if someone gets injured unless it was real bad, just because everybody gets riled up and, it makes it look worse than it is.
Did you walk?
What?
Could she walk?
No, she couldn't. That's kind of a rule that I use, that everybody uses, like, if they can't get up on the golf cart, we'll take a golf cart out there to help them, but if they can't get up under their own power in a reasonable amount of time, 30 seconds to a minute or two, we're calling an ambulance, whether they want it or not. Because we can't. They'll say, oh no, wait, I want, unless she was saying she wanted someone in network or something at first, and she's from South Bend, and then after a little while, I guess she wasn't really concerned about whether they were in network anymore. But this is how people are. Like, no, don't call an ambulance. Like, well, they can't take that responsibility that I didn't call an ambulance.
Right.
We just call them. We call 911 if they don't get up under their own power. Pretty much, and I will help them.
That's what it is, there's liability.
Well, I'm not sure
No, for everybody.
liability, but like still, I just don't want someone hurting themselves more. I don't want to assist in that anyway.
Well, we're not all professional doctors and medical, so let somebody else make the call.
Because they'll ask me, and I'm like, hey, I can't answer that. I might make a decision I do for myself that I wouldn't expect you to make.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
So, but anyway, I'm gonna look at what the cost of that is. I think you guys got the gist of it. So I wanna just take it from the ditch, south, and then just taper it straight from basically the reflectors to the existing ditch on the west side.
just a slower.
Just be a one continuous slope, there'd be no plateau. You know, it would be feathered in, you know, this edge, because there's gonna be a little bit of a slope at the corners probably, but, you know, because we've got to feather it in where it's coming in both ways from the taxiways. But that slope from the taxiway in the ditch would remain. We wouldn't be touching that, we might be cleaning it up a little bit with the dirt that we had. You know, maybe get some better grass growing there, but I'm gonna get a cost and see what it costs, because it is important. I mean, we brought it up quite a few years ago, and,
Okay.
you know, at that time, my memory is that there was drains or something was one of the reasons we didn't want to do it, but.
I think there's still drains there.
Yeah, I can't imagine them being so high though that we'd affect it with that kind of a, because then but they might be, we might do it and find drains that we have to reposition, you know, like, that's where it's gonna get expensive when we gotta do it the FAA way.
Yeah. The major thing is to protect the drainage now, because right now, as far as I know, we don't have a problem with drainage, correct? For all that runoff?
Not terribly, it stays wet up there for a while, but
Yeah.
I guess this year's been a little better, but this would probably help it, you know, as far as that, because like, we get a lot of ruts up there when they mow out there fall, it's wet, you know, like, and, you know, this dirt here, this soil here is slick as hell when it's wet, and then it's rock hard like concrete when it's hard.
Clay.
You know, like, so like, once it sets, there's no changing it, you know, like, you can go out there with a hammer and it's hard to break.
Okay.
So like, this would make it a smooth slope, you know, where it would drain probably better, but for us, it increases safety,
All right.
and eliminate the possibility. So it would be worth it to pay out of pocket if I have to. I mean, that's how important I feel it is, you know.
Yeah.
Depending on what the, you know, if it's 150 grand, I'm not gonna be able to do that, you know, but
Yeah.
right now, anyway.
But if you're gonna take that upon yourself, yeah, that'd be great, just to see what's it gonna cost and.
Well, the airport's been good about me
Details.
too, like, I didn't pay for most of the fence, I mean, I don't forget that stuff, the turnaround, that's money that the airport paid in my
Okay.
book. So like, that's not forgotten. The other couple issues, I think we've addressed, one of them was the frequency, requesting a frequency change, Paul like, knows how to handle that best. The increase in safety is we could monitor the frequency probably more often. I'd like to be able to monitor the Unicom all the way up. But right now, it's just no way. On a busy day, 122.7 at 10,000 feet, I hear everything from Sault Ste. Marie down to, you know, Denver almost. You know, it feels like sometimes, it's just so noisy. You know, you can't monitor it. You know, we gotta make an announcement, try not to step on people, and then, like, you gotta go away from it.
So, right now, are you piloting, are you the pilot that's taking them up there, releasing
John
them?
does most of it. He's been here for a couple of years. He flies Friday through Monday now.
Is there a way right now where someone can monitor the Unicom now and then has a direct link to you so that if they hear something that's important, they just say, hey, they're doing the constant monitoring?
It would require, I mean, we do monitor down here, but it's hard to get it up to us is hard. Then we'd have to monitor a totally third frequency, like 122.85 or something that's not normally used, and somebody could be using it at that moment. Like, I use 122.85 or 87, like if I'm flying with somebody. That's what we used to talk back and forth the whole flight, you know, because it's not really a used frequency, but.
And if we're in here, we also monitor it, obviously, when we're in this building, so there's been times.
We use guard for
If it was an emergency, I would say it would be okay to go on 1855 and say, hey, we need to get a hold of this junction, or to go to the RCO, you know, and call them, but.
But we'll talk to pilots too down here, like, most of the time, the only thing they wanna know is if there's jumpers in the air, you know, we know that.
Because you.
Everybody knows whether there's jumpers in the air, and so we handle that too, Jared will let them know.
Yeah, no, I don't, you know, the people always be, oh, we're gonna wait until the jumpers come, we'll stay out here, I'm like, no. You know, we're the other side of the airport, you know, if you're doing the wrong pattern altitude, it's not gonna be any factor for you.
Yeah.
And they're happy about that, you know.
Because the planes are wide anyways, you guys.
Yeah, they go quite wide, and by that altitude, the jumpers are all under parachute. If they're not, we have a bigger problem.
Yeah.
You know, so like, they can see things happening too, and we're jumping VFR, so like, you know, we're pretty aware of the airplanes around. Plus, now we have ADS-B, we can even announce stuff before we even go, you know, before they even jump, we could say, just know there's a guy south, he's going east right now, but he could turn, you know, so they know that, hey, I can be watching this area, you know, as jumpers. Like I boarded a jump drop the other day because the TPM was coming in, but they're coming from the southeast, that was our jump run. They're probably gonna be below us by that time, but it's just not worth it, you know, so the ADS-B has really helped a lot because we can make decisions that we wouldn't have made the same way before, you know, like
Yeah.
not seeing, and they're like 7 or 8 miles out, they're priority low, you know, below our opening altitude. You can't be dropping parachutes where planes are flying.
Right, at least you know the potential.
Yeah, so the
They're doing
ATSB is a
well,
big help. And then that pilot too, hopefully it's good vibes for them and they feel good about this airport because they know, hey, because the ATC told them, no, they're gonna wait for you to get on final to do their, you know, start their drop. So now they feel better too because they don't have to worry about it. They come in, they can just do a normal approach and not have to worry about jumpers or anything like that. So it's more workload off of them.
Just curious, throwing it out there, are there any frequencies in our area that are available and open?
When Paul explained, you can't really choose.
That's the key, too. Right, I'm just curious.
The danger is if you request for a new frequency, you might be getting more traffic.
Yes, that's happened in an
That's what
airport.
we talked about. I think we're gonna request for just a change in frequency, and maybe you can explain the purpose.
Yeah.
And then they can, you know, the FAA can say, yeah, FCC, please assign a better frequency for these guys. And then the FCC has to do the studies and see what's, you know, how busy it is, and,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, you know, like we had Porter County's frequencies, it'd be better, there's only I know on 2270, you are them in Chicago. You know, like, so I mean, that would be way better for us, even 123 would be better than 22.7 or 8, you know. But I'm just trying to always think about a way to make it safer, you know, we can operate like we are, you know, but you just gotta understand, we can't really monitor it, because I can't miss ATC's call over all this noise, you know, like that's the most important thing, because they're the ones that are really out there protecting and protecting our jumpers, you know, keeping a block of air. So then it happens, like somebody's going northeast and all of a sudden they turn around. And ATC will be like, hey, you know, you got a guy, he just turned around, well, he was no factor just a minute ago.
Yeah.
You know, now he could be a factor, you know, we held for that. Now, I don't mind giving way, you know, I mean, it's more important that the people land safely, you know, than, you know, a few minutes, even, you know, it was wasted to start, but, you know, it's more important to do it safely, you know, than, you know, the money's there, the profit's good in the business, and the business is doing well. They're not trying to skimp on anything, you know, these days. You know, it's not, never skimp on the airplane or safety.
How long's your evolution from takeoff to land?
We're about 22 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
For a turnaround, the way it is, you know. So, and that's been pretty consistent because we spin a lot too. We could be a lot faster, but we do about 5 loads an hour on flight time. You know, like billable hops kind of thing.
Right.
You know, like we do 4 or 5 loads an hour because we're not getting billed when we're below 40 knots.
Right.
So, and now, you know, it's a game with the bill because I bought that airplane. Because I couldn't find a lease anymore either.
Right.
So I've got a deal to buy this airplane, which is a good thing for now. And it's a good thing for the business too, but it's got to suffer for a few years. But, yeah, so I have that issue, and then the other issue I asked Jessica before, but it'd be nice if we could put even just like a 1-sentence thing on the AWAS announcement, just to say, be aware, between April and October, there's parachute jumping during daylight hours, you know, and you can check 11855 and ask if it's active, you know, or something like that, because it's hard to say you can call us and ask if it's active, because we may not be mine.
Yeah. Do we have that now, something in our regular NOTAMs?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a NOTAM out that says that. We also have, the PLA thing, like icon on our chart, like on the actual
Yeah,
chart.
one of the NOTAMs, and that is that, you know,
Pilots don't
we used to
check
have
that?
what's called, you know, WX brief, you know, and you got a briefing the whole way. Now with the devices, you know, I catch myself too, like I do the departure and the destination, I don't really look too much in between.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe something changes, now I change altitude, you know, and like now I'm in a danger altitude or something, so like, that's the only the problem with that is
I
they're
will say
supposed to do it.
there's
That's the
very little people that fly in here that don't know that there are skydiving here, so that's good. I mean, it's been here for years and years and years.
I don't see a problem if we don't
So
have
it's
that.
like, yeah, people.
Well, I mean, we can have it
know,
concise and have somebody with a decent voice record, I wouldn't suggest myself, but, you know, and have it concise and planned, so it's not wasting a lot of their time, but it just puts it out there, because if they check the weather, they get that notice.
Even if they keep it short and not even have it seasonal, just something advisory,
You should cut it off, but you were just saying.
possibly in the area.
Daylight hours,
Something.
something say too, because
Yeah.
if it's night, it's a real special case.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Maybe we can do something with that.
It just would increase, potentially increase the safety. You just never know. That one time is all we're going for. Same thing with the land area. We're going for that one time it might happen like it happened, the 1 in a million. But if a few dollars can save the 1 in a million, I think it's generally worth it.
Well, I think the frequency thing, as long as we can figure out all the advantages, outweigh the disadvantages of making it even worse than what we have right now.
It's probably gonna be a couple of years before anything will happen anyway.
Okay.
Because they're gonna have to do the study and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's gotta change 2 federal agencies, so it's gotta traverse 2 federal agencies, so.
All right.
But I just, if we don't ask for it,
No, if we don't talk
But
about
before
it.
we come in and ask or request a change, we would just ask them to do a study to see if there's a better frequency for the airport. Because if there isn't, we're not requesting to change it.
Absolutely.
So we would request that they would check to see if there could possibly be a better frequency for the airport instead. That's what we would request.
So does not impede on anybody else, yeah.
like someone like me, I couldn't do that. because I don't know
No, we would
what
have to do it
frequencies
through the
they would
FAA.
assign. Like, I know there's empty frequencies, but like they might not be available as issued for an airport. They might not be available for issue for an airport. I don't know what those rules are, but the way Paul explains it, it sounds like a pretty straightforward process. It just takes time. You just have to request and,
Two bureaucracies to go through.
yeah. But I think it's still worth the effort, and if there's a cost associated with it, I might be willing to bear some of that as well, because I still think it will help the safety of my operation, and that's my biggest goal.
Well, is there a motion that anyone wants to just at least look into possible frequency change initial study?
Well, so, the initial study, that's what.
Yeah, we're just gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to the FAA, I'm gonna ask them if they can have the FCC see if there's any better frequency for this area, because that's their job, was to make sure that nobody goes over a certain amount of, interference and stuff like that, and if they say, oh, this frequency would be better, then we can go
Continue
ahead
on
and
further
look
and look into
into
it.
actually requesting
Alright.
to use that frequency.
Is there a motion to look into the study? Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Just one thing, you said that landing area, would if you had better ground markings, would that help?
Maybe,
Your
but
jumpers.
what happens is the wind conditions change and, they're landing here all day, now they don't notice, the wind went up,
So
5
it
knots.
wasn't that they couldn't see the hill,
Nah, it's
they just got
They
pushed.
turn in and they stop.
They,
It's like the space shuttle, like they got one shot, there's no going around, they
Right.
start.
But sometimes they do like to land as close as they can to the building, because we see
Well,
that all
I
the
get
time as
that.
well.
but that's what I was wondering, if there's like better ground markings that they could use and say, hey,
We're gonna be switching to a system that some of the big teams use and stuff, but like, I'm going to lanes, actually, cause I'm, there's a couple reasons, but we may put some temporary marks out there, like some arrows that are marked so they can get used to the system, cause it's gonna change depending on wind direction. But we're gonna, the first guy down is gonna land the farthest, rather than land the closest. This is gonna eliminate some of that push, like to get down first so you can land where you want,
Uh-huh.
because now they have to land in the farthest lane away from the last, because this helps our flow too, because like, if he's the first guy out and the first guy down, now he's got the most time on the ground, before he loads again, so, and they always end up being the first out again, for some reason.
Sure, here's another question. So there's that spot on the other side of the, hill. So would that be a time issue or?
It would definitely be, plus you have the traffic and the runway incursions, or potential incursions is a bad word, but the fact that we have to impact that runway more than, every single load, multiple times, we have to have multiple vehicles over there. I see maybe in the spring, we may be doing some of that if our grass is not so good here yet. Like, if I can do this landing area, I'm gonna do it like November, the day after we close. We're gonna start doing that so that we can maybe get some seeds started, but get it done, and then in the spring, before we even start, we can hopefully get something going there. And with the slope, it should grow pretty good, and we can also pick off the best topsoil too, to put back there, like the stuff we take off, save the best stuff, and put it right back on top. And I've got a place, I need a lot of fill dirt in my house, I'm okay taking the dirt. Like, I'll pay him to haul the dirt out, like, I don't even expect the airport to do that, because I'm already buying it if I didn't, so that's another part of the cost that makes sense for me.
Okay.
You know,
Well, if you don't want to truck it off, we can find you a place.
yeah, that would probably be trucking, we'd probably
Because
fill in
we
some of the
need
holes
lots
that
of
we
fill
got
here at the
here,
airport.
10 or 15 tons maybe of dirt, and then it'd be trucking until my yard's full, and then we can look at someplace else to put it.
Okay.
But,
Well, we need about 500,000 cubic yards for the round.
oh, that's right, yeah, so, well, and that would be another thing for you guys to do, say, no, you can't throw it, you can only truck half of it, or something like that, you know?
I mean, it's up to the board, but
Yeah,
I think we could probably find you, and then you might find that it's
Yeah.
cheaper if, with your excavator.
We'd have to have approval from
They
the
might.
city to
Move
truck
dirt.
it. No, not to move it out, yeah, I don't know, but certainly to move it off the airport.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
we can
maybe-
keep it on the airport. We can keep it on the airport.
well, like Paul's saying, maybe the better option, just buy the
Discussion.
screen and stuff from the excavator, or I think that's what you were trying to say.
Well, I was saying, when you get your numbers to off-site trucking compared to if they just bring an off-road truck in here.
Yeah,
One off-road truck equals 4 on-road dump trucks. So if you just moved it to another part of the airport, it's probably a lot cheaper than hauling it to your house.
yeah, and hopefully I'll get a price, because it's the same guy that excavated my hangars, the first guy I asked, and he's kind of a friend of mine, and I'm storing his airplane in one of my hangars, and, you know, but I got, you know, he's still got a quote of me.
So we'll see you next month with a quote.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I mean, I wouldn't think it's gonna take very long to get a ballpark quote for it, and then I'll know, can I do it or not? Because I'm paying off $1 million airplane in like 3 years, so I took everything I had to make the deal happen. You know, and I had a partner that backed out last second. Actually, I already had the airplane here and he backed out. So then I had to restructure the whole deal and, you know, plus I don't like going to the bank, I hate banks, so I'd rather pay more to the private guy, you know, that needs his family. Anyway, but,
Anything else? Paul, anything, or?
No, not there.
All right. If there's no other public comments, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting's closed. Thank you, everyone.